Last week, a tragedy involving terrorism just happened here near Westminster, and 2 days ago, British Prime Minister Theresa May used Article 50 to officially start the two-year process of Brexit. However, public opinion in this country splits up. Marches and parades for and against the Brexit took straight one after another, and here at Westminster still, the two opposite campaigns just confronted with each other face to face for the first time.
The March for Brexit, organised by South East Alliance, started at Trafalgar Square in central London to the Cabinet Office. There were only dozens of people at the march, but it still gained lots of attention along the way. Not just because of the vast amounts of English and British flags, but because of what was being shouted.
No more refugees! No more refugees! No more terrorist attacks!
The police had to intervene as protesters clashed with the supporters of opposing views.
Racism, as you call it, is just another word for being patriotic, putting your own people first. I don't hate anybody, I just prefer my own people.
My response to that is that they're actually being racist, because as soon as a white man talks or stands up, he's condemned as a racist, and that's wrong.
The UK remains divided as the Brexit process begins. Most Brexit supporters are in favour of tougher immigration controls and British sovereignty, whilst the Remain campaigners are more concerned about a possible economic backlash and the rights of the EU citizens who already settle in the UK.
Brexit, we are told we're getting, will be a full Brexit. Not a half Brexit, not a quarter Brexit, not a soft Brexit, but a hard Brexit, a full Brexit, completely out of the European Union. And to repeal all that swathe of European Union laws, regulations. Britain's overcrowded. We are fed up and we are full up. And we have to prioritise for our own people.
But what about the normal European citizens who already settled here?
Well, yeah, I'm not too bothered about they're the same race as us, you know, as long as there's not too many of them. You know, not too many. We can talk about how many is too many, but, you know, there's not enough houses in this country. We're building more and more houses. And why? Because immigration's out of control. Immigration's out of control because the European Union has no borders.
I myself personally in the South East Alliance would have no immigration for 5 years. This gives us a chance as a people to address what we want in the future. Why a 5-year period? Because that would give whatever government's in a chance that one term of office to then readdress those balance. Yeah, but with Britain, this is Great Britain. That's not going to crumble. Let's invest in that. Let's invest and make Britain great again.
Brexit is a question regarding the 42 years of Britain's close connection with other EU countries, the generations living through those years with the EU citizens, the businesses importing and exporting freely across borders. According to the YouGov polls, the majority of them are keen on imposing immigration control, but also don't want to lose single market access. This type of deal has already been disregarded by a number of other EU countries.
Refugees, we have an obligation, a humanitarian obligation, a legal obligation to accept refugees. It's very important. There are people fleeing famine, there are people fleeing warfare, there are people fleeing economic deprivation. Of course it costs money. All help to people costs money, but we want to pay it. We're very lucky. We were born here in a country, in a nation that is very prosperous. And why is it prosperous? Because 300 years ago it invaded foreign countries. It took over their territories, it plundered their resources, it subjugated their people, it put them into slavery, it stole their lives from them, and now it's too selfish, or some people are, to share with the rest of the world.
Just as much that they feel that the country is better outside the EU, I'm sorry, we believe it's in our children's and grandchildren's futures will be better inside. I disagree with them deeply. Cooperation within Europe, between European countries, is the only way to address the problems that arise. But of course we have to be vigilant, of course we have to take measures, but we do that better as European countries collaborating within sharing information and sharing resources.
So what exactly happens next? The UK and the EU will formally sit down to come to terms on how the negotiations will work in a month. However, the French presidential election in April and the German parliamentary election in late September may add more uncertainties to the progress of Brexit. It's a war about confidence because Brexit is a double-edged sword. People may have to fully aware of the consequences and march forward together. 向湘平 and Wang Yihui reporting from London.